So it blessed me in way more ways than I thought. We were able to purchase our home going on 4 years. Happy Mother's Day in advance for all the moms out there. We actually bought our house 2 days after Mother's Day or on Mother's Day. It was one of those. It was a good Mother's Day gift. And we've been blessed because of this program, really understanding how to budget properly, which everybody needs some help with, how to properly save, how to eliminate some debt. My wife's going to share a little bit of her testimony on what this program did for her personally, which affected us as a family. So we're grateful, for your time today. We're excited to share this information with you guys, and then I get to introduce my best half, Raisa Santiago. She'll be able to go over a little bit more detail of what our program consists of and what it did for us. So, Raisa, if you hear me, I get to pass the ball to you. Where she's at?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I do. I hear you.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. Super excited to see some familiar faces on here. Got to give it back to the Wall family, Nicole, Tupac. We appreciate you guys and what you're doing, helping us right with this mission that we've been on for the past, 8 years. I was talking to Nicole yesterday. I'm like, I'm so grateful for you guys that you guys are able to see this in the light that we've been able to see it, and in the mission that we have to really be able to help people with their finances, guys. Many people are out there struggling with their finances in many different variations, whether it's debt, whether it's credit scores. And so we are really passionate about this. I've lived it. So one of the reasons why I feel that my passion is to help others, I've lived it. In 2017, I went through a divorce that led to a bankruptcy. And I was a single mom all of a sudden, right? My son was also diagnosed with autism the same year. So when I tell you guys, like, I've hit rock bottom financially and not knowing how to get out of that, we've all been in that place where we don't see a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to our finances. And the credit score was really holding me back. I had a 514 credit score with a bankruptcy. I couldn't get not even a free lollipop at the bank, right? And so when we look at the situation, a lot of times I say that bad credit happens to good people. And it's very different things, right? During the pandemic, we saw the numbers go skyrocket. We went from 43 million people with a 599 credit score or less to 73 million people. Why? People lost their jobs, right? Medical, lost family. And unfortunately, that affects the fiber of our life when it comes to our finances. So again, I was able to find this program in 2017 by way of social media, someone just giving me a call. How many of you guys are on here today because someone reached out and said, you got to take a look at this? That was me in 2017. And I didn't know that a stranger that I didn't know was going to completely change my entire financial situation and how I stand here before you guys 8 years later. I entered the program that I get to talk to you guys about today. I was able to get 64 negative items deleted from my credit report, including the Chapter 7 bankruptcy that I had filed a year prior. I was able to increase my credit score 196 points. We were able to save, my husband and I, during the pandemic, we were able to save a substantial amount of money that allowed us to buy a house, allowed us to remodel our house, and the house that we are living in now has grown in equity, right? Over the last 3 years, how many of you guys have seen everything go up? Groceries, gas, right? The housing market, it's been insane. We were able to take advantage of when it wasn't that way. We bought our house for $280,000, put $60,000 down, and now it's worth almost $550,000. So when we tell you guys we've lived it, we understand. And if you're in that financial situation right now where you're like trying to get it, we all have goals. How many of you guys have goals? Type of one in the chat, some type of financial goal, right? And one of the things that me and my husband been leading lately is that we all have financial goals, but they're all to do two things. One, to buy more time, right? One of the things that we want to do is give more time, whether that's give more time to our kids, give more time to our family, give more time to our community, or money to be able to give back. Those are the two things fundamentally that we want to do when we look at it. But unfortunately, we're stuck in these chains. We're stuck in the chains of finances. We're dealing with debt. We're not preparing for retirement. We're not ready. And unfortunately, the financial education is not something that we learn, right? How many of you guys learned about financial literacy in school? Not very many. They didn't teach us about budgeting. They didn't teach us about saving, investing, how to manage our credit score, how to use our credit cards, right? So those are the things that we teach on a day-to-day basis to be able to help you guys. But we also provide the tools. And we can learn as much as we want, but if we don't implement, right, we don't see the result. And so not only are we teaching you, but we're also going to give you the tools. So tonight, I know that Nicole was so gracious to share the video that kind of gives you a foundation of what we're able to do within the platform. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Okay. All right. But I'm going to give you guys a insight. We don't do this with everybody because, you know, once you actually join the platform, you're able to access everything I'm going to show you. But I get to do something special, and I get to take the curtain off and show you exactly what you're going to get. So when you come into our protection plan, which is our all-in-one financial platform, which is what I found back in 2017 that completely changed my finances, and I still use it to this day, every single day. I've been using this program for the last 8 years. It's the program that I used to get myself out of that hole that I was in. Once you enroll, you'll have your own personal login. So you'll be able to click on login. You're going to have your own username and password that you can come in to see your all-in-one financial platform. Now, one of our flagship products is credit repair, okay? But we're more of a financial literacy company. We provide a lot more than that. So I want to break all of that. It's a lot to take in one shot, but I'll try to give it to you guys in a way where it's digestible and you can see how you can implement this in your finances. So when you come into the platform, the first thing you'll come into is our dashboard. And the main thing that I love that we've plugged in recently is our 360 financial view. Most people are seeing these things in different apps, right? We're seeing Credit Karma here, and we're budgeting over here, and then we have a savings app and a bank app over here, and then our debt is on a spreadsheet or on a piece of paper, right? And so what I love about the 360 financial view is that once all of your information is extracted from your credit reports, this will now populate. So not only will you be able to see your credit scores, you'll be able to see what we're working on, but you're going to be able to add savings goals. You're going to have a debt elimination plan so you can see your progress with that, and also your monthly budget. So once you set it, now all you do is track it here in the 360 financial view. And this really doesn't exist anywhere. I've yet to see somewhere where you can actually look at those 4 categories in one place. Now, let's talk about credit restoration. Many guys, 73 million people need this service. Whether you've had late payments before, how many of you guys can relate, right? I had a late payment, but guess what? That late payment stays on your credit report for 7 years. So it's probably still on there today. Collections, medical bills, a repossession, right? Whether involuntary or voluntary, a bankruptcy, whatever the negative items are, they're stuck on your credit report. And if you're not taking any action on them, they are weighing your credit score down, okay? So what we do is when our clients come into our platform, you'll be prompted to do a soft pull on your credit, a soft pull, so we can see what's negative across all 3 credit bureaus. Instantly, those negative items are going to come up. We don't touch anything that's positive, only things that are negative, charge-offs, again, collections, any other derogatory items that we're seeing. And we're actually going to dispute them on your behalf. First, you'll see your credit scores. Boom. All right, all across 3 credit bureaus. I've seen apps that charge $30 a month to be able to see what Experian charges $29.99 a month to see one credit score, right? And this is the credit bureau, and they're charging us $30 a month to see our credit score. It doesn't make sense. So here you're able to see all 3, right? You're going to be able to see your credit report. So your credit report is going to extract in. You're going to be able to see everything that's on there, right? A lot of times when people are looking at credit reports, they don't really know how to identify certain things that are on it. So for that reason, we extract all the negative items. We take the guessing out of it. Now we extract the accounts and we start the dispute process on your behalf, okay? So anything that comes up negative, we actually send dispute letters out the next day. The only thing you have to do is upload a copy of your license and an address verification, like a bank statement or utility bill that proves where you live. And we actually send the legal dispute letters out the next day. Now, you'll see it stamped. So let's say if you get started today, tomorrow you'll see your dispute letters go out. Now, what are we doing when it comes to these dispute letters? Our credit attorneys are leveraging your rights. There's a Fair Credit Reporting Act that was enacted in the 1970s that allows all of us to be able to dispute and investigate the items on our credit reports. And guess what? 4 out of 5 credit reports have errors in them. So what are the chances that you have an error on your name? If your name is misspelled tied to a collection, that could potentially lead to a deletion. If your address is wrong, if the date that they reported it is wrong, if the amount is wrong, right? All of these things can lead to deletions, which increase your credit score. So we do that process for you. You'll have resources and education and frequently asked questions, which obviously we'll do a FAQ here at the end of the call. But more importantly, you'll be able to track your progress. You'll be able to see what were the negative items deleted and how much did my score increase in this particular month. Every 55 days, you'll come in and do a refresh. And if some of those negative items, for example, in this example here, if this person in particular has, right, 2 negative items, 2 late payments here, if we are able to get 5 collections off in the first round of disputes, the next month we're going to fight the other 2, right? Whatever is residually left until we can get all of these negative items off your credit report. And that in essence is going to increase your credit score, right? Now, being able to financially analyze the 5 categories that make up your credit score. So for example, payment history is one of the biggest categories. So you'll be able to see, okay, where was it that I was late? Was I 30? Was I 60, 90-day late? But guess what? We're fighting that in the platform too. So you got to worry about it because we're already taking care of it. However, you want to make sure that going forward, you don't continue to do damage. You want to make sure that you're putting things on auto pay, that you don't have any more late payments going forward because your credit score could drop 50 to 100 points just with one single late payment. But what I like about our platform, it takes the guessing game out, right? Most people will tell you you need to bring down your credit card usage to 30%. But all of us, if we have a lot of credit cards, we're sitting there wondering, okay, what does that mean? So we take the guessing game out. So all of your credit cards will import into the system. It'll show us your balance and your limits. And it's also going to give you the target balance that they should be at so that you can get to the highest credit score. Okay. So it's a 30% margin on each card. So for example, this particular client is at a 96% credit utilization ratio, which unfortunately is bringing their score down 30 to 40 points. So here the guessing game is out. You'll know exactly what balances you need to bring down your credit cards to. And then we have another tool that will help you do that effectively. If you click here, you'll be able to see your mortgage and installment loans. So you'll be able to see, your car loans, if you have a mortgage, things like that. So you can track that. And the good thing is you don't have to manually put this in. We extract all this information as soon as we do the credit pull and put it into all of these categories so that you can have a clear view. You're going to be able to monitor your credit. Like I said, every 55 days, you can do a repull on your credit to see the progress of the program, where you stand. But one of the things I love about the Ultra Score is it has an actual score boost. So you're able to go into the Ultra Score. It'll tell you, hey, if you want to get your credit score 50 points, do this, right? So it'll most likely tell you to pay down on some credit cards or dispute some negative items, which you're already doing in the platform. Our budgeting tool, I just did a budgeting class at 6 o'clock. I spent time with some people really having them understand why it's important to maintain a budget, why it's important to know what your monthly income are, what is your expenses, right? What are your variable expenses? What are your fixed expenses? This is the foundation. Most people are not budgeting. And this is why we run into not having savings, and we don't have retirement, we don't have investment, and we have debt because unfortunately we're not keeping track of the money that is coming in. So in our platform, you'll be able to set your budget. As you can see here, super simple. You can select the month that you're budgeting for. Obviously, we're going into May tomorrow, which is why I did my budgeting class today. But now you can start entering all that in and maintaining it. My husband and I, long story short, we went from $2,000 a month in food to $500. How did we do it? Budgeting. Big difference. $1,500 now in the savings account, right? And we were able to do it. It's just being able to manage that. Big difference. So again, the budgeting tool is very powerful within our platform. We have a debt payoff app. So all of your debt, as I mentioned earlier, will be extracted in from the credit report, whether that's a car, whether it's your open credit cards, whether it's your mortgage, it will be extracted in. And you're going to be able to see every single line item, what your balances are, what your monthly payments are on that. The interest rate can be edited. So if it's different from what you see, all you have to do is hit the edit button. But why is the interest rate so important? The system is going to categorize you paying off your debt based on what's costing you more money. Okay, so if you have a 30% interest card, we're going to want to knock that one out first. So it's very important that you put the interest rate accurate here so that it can really calculate. And then it's going to give you two payoff plans. One is going to be just based on making just your minimum payments. You don't have to add any more income to it. We're just going to organize it in a way to help you get out of debt sooner and pay less money in interest, just with what you're paying on a monthly basis. No difference, right? Now, the accelerator plan are for those people that can actually put a little bit more. If you can put an extra $50 towards your debt, an extra $100 a month, all you have to do is add what that accelerator payment is for you, and boom, we give you the entire plan. But I think it's just so powerful to see it in the way that most people don't see it. So I don't know if this is a good example or not, but again, this is just a demo account. But for example, with the current payoff plan, this person will be in debt 30 years, 7 months, total debt of 813,000, debt free November of 2055, right? But look at the total interest they'll pay, $259,000 in interest. Now, if you look at the accelerator where they probably put an extra $50, $100 a month, well, the difference, you'll be out of debt 2 years sooner, right? You'll have a big difference, almost $25,000, $30,000 in interest saved by doing that. So you'll be able to see those numbers for yourself based on your debt once you plug all that into the system. So I was able to help a young lady who makes good money, but she's in debt. And she's like, well, I can put an extra $500 a month. And when I showed her she could get out of debt in 12 months, she was excited to see that she actually had a plan to be able to do it, and that we were actually attacking the things that were costing her most money at the top. Okay. Family Mint, you'll have access to our youth financial literacy foundation. If you have children, how many of you guys have kids? I know I do. You know, I just had my son open his first checking account this week at age 13. So teaching him things about money, right? Allowance, having goals, being able to match his deposits based on, you know, how he's doing in school, things like that. So you'll have access to this program for your children as well. So it's a money management certification program. And we actually go into schools between grades 9 and 12 to educate on financial literacy as well. So remember, this is the missing piece. And we actually go out there. Every protection plan member contributes to this via donation, and we go out there and serve the community. Identity theft protection, one of the highest growing crimes, right? With social media. How many of you guys experience people get hacked on social media, on Facebook, and now they don't have their Facebook anymore? Or people are going out there and getting a medical plan with your information, going to the ER and racking up bills, or stealing your credit score, stealing your getting credit cards, right? Those are things that are happening more and more. So we actually provide you with identity monitoring. IDX actually provides monitoring for the IRS. So it's one of the top in identity theft protection. That's why we had them join our platform. So you can add all of your personal information on here. And if any of that gets, for instance, if anyone's putting that information online, you'll get notified through the app right away. If someone used your email, if your password is compromised, you can add your social media on here. So you can add your Facebook, Instagram, all of the social media accounts. And if it finds some kind of breach, you'll be notified of that. And you also have $1 million in stolen funds and expense reimbursement with this as well, and wallet protection. So if you're able to put everything that you have in your wallet somewhere to have it protected, you have that within the IDX as well. And that's just an added feature because we have people on our platform that may not need the credit restoration. They're just looking to
They're just
looking to pay off their debt, right? A lot of people are looking to pay off their debt, or they want some of the other products we have. But if they have an 800 credit score and they don't have identity theft protection, they're at risk. So we're able to provide that service as well. We actually provide a will, trust, power of attorney on our platform. Every time we talk about this, like, I see people's eyes just go like this, because this is a service that can cost anywhere. I mean, I've seen it cost anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000, depending on the complexity and what you're trying to accomplish. But being able to create your last will, having your last will in place to make sure that your estate goes to who you want, when you want, the way you want. And we have examples of that right here, which I know that she'll probably talk about. Having a living trust, so planning ahead, you can shorten the settlement process, avoid probate and estate proceedings for your family. You know, I feel like at that time, people are already grieving, right? They're already going through something, and now having to deal with your probate and estate and go to court and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure out what you wanted to do with your assets. Healthcare power of attorney, if you can't make decisions because you become disabled all of a sudden, who's going to make those decisions for you? And also our financial power of attorney, which involves who's taking care of your finances if you're in the position where you become incapacitated and can't do that. And you know what the best part is? You do it in your home. All you do is click on access your account. You enter who you would want to be your executor of your estate, who the beneficiaries are, who will have control of the assets, who would be the guardian of your children if something were to, you do all of that, and you get a binder in the mail within a week or so. And all you need to do is get it notarized, and it becomes a will, trust, power of attorney that you could take with you outside of the program. For me, this is the most valuable tool that we have within our financial platform, because it's one thing to get your finances in order, but it's another one to have them be protected. Our Rocket Lawyer services, we talked to someone this week who said they're paying anywhere from $30 to $80 for the Rocket Lawyer service alone. This service is not only good for, I mean, at one point of our life, we've all sought some type of legal advice, for whatever reason, right? Maybe it was a tax issue, parental issue, divorce, bankruptcy, or financial, right? We always have something that we might need a lawyer for. There's personal contracts in here, business contracts in here. I've done NDA agreements in here. We've helped people get their LLC for free and no charge in the Rocket Lawyer. But even for people in real estate, there's so many real estate contracts and documents that are available. And the best part is Rocket Lawyer is free with our platform. It's included. There's no additional charge. You get free consultations with an attorney that doesn't matter what the situation is or what type of attorney you're looking for. And if you decide to hire someone on the platform, you actually get 40% off if you decide to hire one of the lawyers with Rocket Lawyer. So really, really loving that service lately, as I've been using it more and more. Let's see, this logged me out. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so you guys getting good info so far? Let me see. I see some people in the chat. Good info so far. Let me go ahead and log back in here because it logged me out. But I'm trying to keep up with the chat as well. All right, so let's talk about our pro bono credit attorney. So not with the Rocket Lawyer service, but we have a credit attorney in-house that takes on specific cases for our clients. So for example, if you have a credit error, an example of a credit error is something that for example, the balance due that's reporting on a paid or settled account is wrong, like, and they won't fix it. It won't come off through the dispute process, or maybe it's a duplicate account. How many times have you seen, anybody here have student loans? Type of 1 in the chat. Have you seen that same student loan is on there twice, or with the same balance 3 times, and that's probably affecting your credit, right? So in those situations, our credit attorneys will step in to help you with that at no charge. All you have to do is submit a preliminary review and let them know what's going on with that particular. What about debt harassment? You know, do you have debt collectors texting you? I've seen that. That's illegal. Okay. Maybe they're calling your friends, families, coworkers. Maybe they're leaving a voicemail. Little do we know, all of those things are illegal. Our credit attorney will go after them. Not only will they get those accounts off your credit report, but they will sue them. You can get up to $1,000 per infraction that they do. Okay, so if you looking at this and you're like, man, I'm being harassed by some of these debt collectors, being part of the program allows us to go out and chase that on your behalf. And last but not least, identity theft. The debt collectors threatening you with criminal charges because someone stole your identity, but it wasn't you. You didn't do that, right? Things like that. So identity theft is a big one. It happens more often than we think. And so a lot of people use our credit attorney for the identity theft as well. You have a financial lockbox. So what I love about the financial lockbox is that it organizes all your financial affairs. So if I was to log into my financial lockbox right now, I have my bank accounts in there, even though my husband is on them, but I just want everything in one place. God forbid anything happens to me. He doesn't have to go scrambling, looking under the mattress, looking in the filing cabinets, all that stuff, right? If I have stocks, they're in their credit insurance policies. How many do you know, people you know that had insurance policies you didn't even know? You know how many of them go unclaimed? The statistic on that alone of people that have insurance, they go unclaimed because your family don't even know you have a life insurance policy. So you're able to upload your insurance policies in here. So they're all in one place. Pensions, if you have real estate, if you have safety deposit box, any other valuables, that's what the financial lockbox does. It just allows you to put everything in one place. And then last but not least, our net worth calculator. So you're able to actually put in what you own so that we can tie it to see discovering your net worth. So you're able to put, you know, if you own your home, if you own how much money you have in your checking account, savings, stocks, mutual funds, IRA, personal property. And then now we're going to look at the liabilities because the goal is to get you more in the asset section, right? Not have liabilities like credit card debt, student loans, or any other type of debt. So we can really discover what your net worth is, and you could keep track of that and work in towards increasing that versus going the other way, which is decreasing it. So a lot to talk about. Hopefully I was able to break this down. You know, I've been talking about this for the last 8 years with just the exceptions of the products that we've added, which, you know, they're always enhancing. We're always adding products that just make sense. We just added a Grubhub Plus. How many of you guys do Uber Eats, right? Or have kids that do Uber Eats? So our CEO experiencing that with his own teenager was like, wait a minute, how many other families are going through that? So he added the Grubhub Plus for all of our protection plan members so that we don't pay delivery fees. But if you're on a tight budget like me, we're not doing none of that. We are definitely using the budgeting tool and really getting our finance. We're really a product of this, but it's really what has given us, again, more time and more money to spend with our family and to spend with you guys and be able to give back, which is what we love to do and help you guys. So that's why we are here on tonight. So hopefully this was some good value to get started in the program. It's $188 to start. Okay, and then it's $89 a month. The 89, your first month is already included in the 188. So 188 you would pay today. Your dispute letters for the credit repair will go out tomorrow, and you have access to the entire platform for $89 a month, guys. Less than $3 a day. We did videos in front of Starbucks yesterday. We said people spend $3 a day on coffee, but won't spend $3 a day to have a will and trust, get their budget in order, get their savings right, get their credit repaired. So with that being said, I'll pass it over back to you guys.
Babe, again, great job. Put some flames in the chat for Raisa. She does an incredible job going over how much value, because people would just look at it as a credit repair program, and it really isn't just that. It's a full all-in-one financial platform, really to teach you the habits that's necessary. And we've seen so many testimonials. We've partnered with so many different, so I've seen it from the business side of being a business professional who helps clients get those loans. Like I said, I was a banker, right? So if you're in real estate, if you're in automotive sales, if you're in the solar industry, if you like, these are all clients that you're already helping that unfortunately are going through these problems, right? They're getting turned down because they have these items on their credit report and they just don't know that there's a program out here like this that within their first 60 to 90 days, they can see these items deleted from their credit report and now go from a 600 to a 680, you know, a 650 to a 700, just depending on where you are. It can literally take you from not being able to get a home to being able to qualify. You know, people who weren't able to get certain jobs, apartments. There's a lot of programs that are surrounded around credit right now. So if you're on here, or if you know people who are in those industries, you know, for their customers, this was a great asset for me as a bank manager, you know, because I had a lot of customers who I helped. And unfortunately, 8 out of 10 of them they couldn't get the services in the bank, you know, in the community that I was serving. So this program was powerful. It also gives back to the students. We give back to the kids. So for every $89 that's paid towards the company, $9 goes towards a scholarship program to educate students between 8 and 18 on all of the finance steps that they really need to take when life hits them. And we give scholarship money every year as well. So, you know, I'm very passionate about it. Again, from a clientele side, from a business standpoint, as a friend, as family, the price, the value, everything that's included in the program has been a huge blessing for us. And I'm grateful that you guys get a chance to hear it. You know, you get a chance to hear it from us. The person that invited you cared enough to let you know that you can get all of this value instead of paying $6,000, $10,000 separately to get those services. You get it all in one bundle, you know, for 89 bucks a month. I like to call it wealth insurance. That's my word for it. But I want to give it back to Executive Vice President Nicole. Thank you for you and your team's effort getting everybody on here tonight to be able to go over the info with them. So appreciate you.
Listen, we deeply appreciate both of you. You guys are phenomenal in what you do. If we could take some questions, deeply appreciate it. You know, it's crazy because just last night, we were talking about credit repair, credit restoration, will and trust. And one of the executives have mentioned how, you know, when she's going about presenting the service, how she's starting to become aware that it's $8,000 to $10,000 for a will and a trust, depending on where you are. And what Ms. Santiago was referring to is I had a neighbor who left me his house. I really need you to hear what you're about, you know, everything you're hearing tonight. And what happened is that in Nevada, where I'm currently located, he signed the deed upon death. In Nevada, if that document is not submitted into the recorder's office before he passes, the document's null and void. So a $385,000 house paid off. Even though I was his power of attorney, I lost the house due to the fact that the trust and the will was not updated. So I am telling you that for a lousy, and I know the word I'm saying, $189, it secures everything, because as many of you may know, when someone passes away, all of a sudden what happens? A lot of family members come out, right? All of a sudden, family members and people that never seen the person almost while they were sick or ill or before they passed, all of a sudden everybody loves them. So it's very important for people to prepare their fields. And no, it's not an easy conversation for some people, but at the end of the day, you got to really position yourself. So what we're going to do is take questions. And the first question is coming from Billy Herbert, right? Herbert, help me out, Bill. I don't want to mess you up because we're friends. I don't want to. Herbert. Thanks, Rob.
Like old Mother Hubbard.
Old Mother Hubbard, I got you. What is the average time for credit repair to fully help a client? In other words, time for deletions.
Yeah.
Usually, the credit resets every 55 days. So to give someone a realistic expectation, because what happens is your credit gets pulled right away, right? Which is a soft pull, so it doesn't affect your score. And we get all of those negative items, we'll prepare the documents, and then they're sent off for you electronically. Usually they get there short period of time, but then the credit bureaus have 30 to 45 days to file their investigation and go through their process. So it's just a waiting game to let them complete that. And then they send back the results, which will fall within that 55, 60-day time frame. So it's done per round. So that first round goes off 55 days later. You could see all of your negative items deleted on that first round, maybe half of them, maybe a portion of them. And then you go through a second round of those disputes and we go after whatever's remaining. So that could be another 60 days. So I love to tell people 2 to 6 months, because within 60 days, you can start seeing results, but it may be your second round. It may be your third round. But if you stick to the program and follow the rest of the procedures by knocking down the debt, paying those credit card balances down on top of the credit repair, you're going to see a significant increase in a short period of time. So we've seen it very quick, but I like to be real, right? Can I be real with everybody? This isn't by Saturday, 3 p.m., you're at a 750 credit score. Some people have told me that I need my credit ready by Friday. And I said, that is something I can't do that. So if that's what you're thinking, just be careful. You know, that microwave credit repair stuff is dangerous. And as you see, this is not just credit. It's really to teach you all the habits that are necessary in order to really stay with a better score and debt free, right? That's what we want you guys to be debt free, have a big savings account, right? Travel, hit the cruises. But that time frame, that's the realistic expectation. If you're buying a house, you know, you should be setting up, you know, the next 3 to 6 months, working on your savings, working on, you know, getting your debt to income ratios in order. So when you get to that realtor, you're ready to go, you know? So, no, any other questions we got in there?
So also, just to let you know, and I already see Rob had answered, but if when you guys are ready to sign up for the service tonight, get back with the individual that invited you tonight. They're going to give you some solid information. And they're probably going to blow your mind with some other information. Executives, I hope you follow me. And you'll be able to position yourself. And Rob and Razor, just to clarify, right? If let's say your credit is okay, I think I know the answer, but I want to clarify. Your credit is okay, but you want all the other benefits. And let's say you're married, you still have to sign up individually. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. And
yeah, I still got my own will, trust, and power of attorney. Even though it's all going to her, I still have it documented that it's going to her, right? And that she has it documented that it's going to her. So, you know.
Okay, so we're going to take a question in the chat, and then we're going to take a question in reference to someone that has their hand up. The question in the chat is dealing with the will and the trust. What is really the process?
So what it is, it's this is actually what it looks like, by the way. You actually get this physical copy sent to you within 2 weeks of completing the will and trust. So it's a step-by-step, walk you through setting up your financial power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, last will, living trust. So it's literally like AI walking you through, putting your information, and you're filling this information in privately. And then once it's completed and uploaded, then the company is going to send you the physical document. Then you can go out there and get it notarized so it could be 100% official.
Beverly, Burley, I apologize. Do you have a question? Guys, if you don't want to ask your question publicly, we understand. You could type it into the chat.
Yeah.
This is
I want to ask a question.
Questions. Go ahead, young lady.
My question is, why the monthly fee, and how long does the monthly fee go on for until death do we part?
That's a good question. She said, so right now the monthly fee is to actually continue to utilize the platform. So remember, behind this, there's a customer service department Monday through Friday that supports you in all of the different services that are provided, including the will and trust. To be active in the protection plan, a benefit of that is that will and trust could be adjusted at any time. for most people who know, once that's done one time, if you have to change it, you have to pay more to do that, or you have to redo it in general. So there's, you know, a lot of benefits to actually actively having the program still. And it just depends. Some people see their credit score go up in 2-3 months, but then now that your score is high, the identity theft protection, all the other services that are included to keep you there. Again, it's not obligated to stay on, you know, but the way I look at it as that life happens, you know, late payment happens or anything is reported to your credit, you got this platform that really is keeping you at a form of awareness full time. But there's no contract, so it could be canceled at any time. So you're not locked into anything.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Oh, Mandy, invite me to the chat this evening.
Oh,
Win
that's
some,
Oh.
win some.
when
Yes,
we got you. She's one of our top executives. She's an amazing servant leader. We got you.
you know me, Nicole.
I know you.
Yes, you know me.
Uh-oh, oh, you know what? I do know you. I have recognized your accent. I do know you. How are you?
Excellent, excellent.
All right, we'll talk, I promise.
Okay.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take questions from guests only this evening, okay? So any guests on the line have any other questions? You know, we want to get out the way and let the experts do their thing. Aren't they phenomenal though? Can we give them a hand? I mean, I have witnessed a bunch of stuff in my life. This is breathtaking. And every time I hear you guys talk, I learn something new every single time. So this is just a one-stop shop when it comes to all your financial stuff. I was actually playing with the will and trust today. I was really blown away by how fast I did it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm gonna go do it again, because I did it pretty fast. And
Yeah.
it was so easy that I'm gonna go through it again. But by a show of hands, how many of you like the service? If we could just get a show of hands, we're not asking you to commit to nothing. I'm just curious. But we really appreciate you. So executives, let's just have customers ask questions. There'll be time for you guys to ask questions later on. Any other guests on the line want to ask any questions? If you want to put it in the chat, we can read them. We can read them out loud. That's fine. Or you can verbally ask. Any other questions from the guests? Go ahead.
I wanted to ask a question. Like with the trust, can you set up a trust like for a grandchild, and they get the money when they get a certain age? Like you don't have to wait until you pass away. Can you set up trust like that?
Raise it, Rob.
Babe, out of the trust that I know of that's set up, it's a living trust, but I'm not sure if it could be set up specifically for a minor.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't have that specific answer for that particular situation, but I know you can put a minor in the trust, you know, like to
Put,
make
like,
that
you can put like gifts and donations to specific people.
correct.
You,
But I don't know.
And then
you mean like upon your death? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, like if you're talking about distributions, gift donations, or financial info, that's all stuff that you get to put within the living trust.
Okay.
So
And it'll walk you through it. Like it'll say, you know, who's the trustee, what's the financial info, what do you want to gift and donate, and to who, and how do you want it distributed?
I want to give a piece of advice. When you guys are doing your trust and will, the word trust means a lot. So make sure it's someone you trust. Does that make sense? And I know that sounds a little weird, but trust me, I've been through some situations where you really want to make sure. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, we want you to really get back to the person or persons that invited you tonight.